Okay, so this is like the difference between the two formulas. This is the one for prisms. This is the one for pyramids. And it's divided by 2 because these are a bunch of triangles up here. So it's the perimeter of the base times the slant height, which is like on the outside of the shape. So that's the height. The slant height is on the side. Yeah. So now we can just plug figure out what all of these things are, plug them into this formula, and solve. So the perimeter of our base is just all the sides. So it is a square pyramid. Therefore, we're going to do 5 plus 5, like all these together, 20. So we're just going to add them all up together. And then our slant height is going to be 8. Oh, that would be helpful. There you go. Thanks. And then the area of our base. So this is a rectangle. So my capital B is just that rectangle formula. Okay? So it's just, I'm finding the area of my rectangle. If the bottom of the shape is different, like if it was an octagon, you would have to use this regular polygon formula, which we'll talk about that on the assignment. The area of my base is just going to be my 2 sides. So this is a square, or square and rectangle, the same thing. 5 times 5, or they use the same formula. So it's going to be 25 for the base. So perimeter is different because you add up all the sides. The area, it's just a rectangle. So you're going to multiply those. And then my surface area is just like plugging in the numbers. So surface area equals the perimeter times the slant height divided by 2 plus the base, which is 25. Okay. There's a couple different options for ways to put it in. You can use your fraction, the green button, and then the one next to it. And you can do 20 times 8 on top divided by 2. And then plus 25. Remember, it's only one base. So it had been 2 bases because a pyramid has only one base. And you're going to get 105 for this one. Also, if you are, let me see what will happen if you have the, oh no, it does it correctly if it's, okay. No, I think that, never mind. We'll see. If it ever comes out to like a weird fraction here, I'll show you guys a different way to input that. But for now, that will work. All right, let's look at this one right here. So for this, there are times that you may have to use trig. And if that occurs, like if you need this slant height right here, so I'm going to put an X right here. We don't know what our slant height is. You can just think of this triangle. I'm going to redraw this triangle out here separately. So it's 60. We're looking for this slant height. And then the length of this right here is this 10, but it only goes halfway across, right? So instead of 10, we're going to cut that in half and get 5. So this is like half of 5. And then we have this right triangle right here. And we can use that to solve. We can use trig to solve. So it's been a little bit since we've done trig. So let's follow all the steps. We're going to circle the angle. This is our reference angle. We have 60. We're going to label our sides. Well, we know that this is the longest side. It's the hypotenuse. And then we see that 5 actually touches that angle. It is adjacent to the angle because it touches it. It's next to it. And so we are going to use cosine because some old hippie caught another hippie tripping on apples. So caught another hippie gives us cosine of adjacent over hypotenuse. So the cosine of our angle, which is 60, equals 5 over x. Okay? And so when x is on bottom, we're going to divide, because essentially you're just switching the x and the cosine of 60. And this we can type into the calculator. 5 divided by cosine of 60. If your calculator is not in degree, then that won't work. And this one actually comes out to a nice, pretty number. This is 10. And so that's what our slant height is going to be. So I'm going to write that down there. I'll write that as 10. Okay, so our slant height equals 10. The perimeter of our base, it is a square. So the perimeter is just 10, 4 times. So 40. The area of our base is just 10 times 10. So it's 100. It's a square. They won't always be this easy. I'm actually going to do one of them on the assignment with you so that you're see one with that's a little more challenging. And then the surface area is just, hey, can we plug this into the formula? Which, yes, we can. So my formula is PL over 2 plus B. So let's plug these 3 numbers in. So 40 times 10, which is my slant height, divided by 2 plus 100. So this is exactly what I'm going to type in the calculator. I don't really need to split it up. All right, and then the surface area is going to be 300 when you plug it into your calculator, because this part is 200, and then add 100 to that. All right, let's go to the next page. This one looks like more than it actually is, because this first part, it's not actually a problem. It's just, here's my L, or my slant height. This is my radius. These are the 2 things we need. Like, your radius is in here twice. And your slant height is in here once. And those are, cones are easier, because you need to just plug it in once. Alright, let's plug some numbers in. So, what happens if we don't have, this is 9, by the way. The diameter is 9, so the radius is 4.5. It doesn't really look like a 9, so I just want to tell you. So this is your radius. What if you have just like, you don't have your slant height, and you need that slant height? Well, this is a right triangle, so you could use Pythagorean theorem to solve for this, which you won't have to do this a ton, but I just want you to be aware that it is something that you might have to do. If you're given this height, you do not need this height. You need the slant height. So this is that a squared plus b squared equals c squared formula, the Pythagorean theorem. So I take the 2 legs and I square them. And I get, oh, not 100 squared. I did this earlier today too. 120.25. And then my last step is I need to take the square root, because I don't care about c squared. I want to know what c is. So the square root of this answer. And, you know, utilize the going up and grabbing. Highlight it and click enter. And then you don't have to retype stuff in. And I get this number, 10.965. I'm actually going to round this up to 11. So my slant height is 11, my radius is 4.5, and I can plug these numbers into the formula. So pi times 4.5 times 11. I'm going to put these in parentheses. That's not an equal sign. That should be a plus sign. Plus my surface area. Oh, no, sorry. Plus my pi r squared, just my area of my base. Because this is just the area of the circle. That capital B. But yeah, so pi RL plus pi r squared. And then we can just type all of this in the calculator. So this is a good time to practice that. So yeah, pi times 4.5 times 11, then pi times 4.5 squared. So this is going to give us 219.1. And essentially that is how you solve these. I think we're going to skip this last problem. Alright, so this is number 3 from the assignment. So we're going to take these things. We need P, we need L, and we need B. So the perimeter of my base, this is a 5-sided shape. It is a pentagon. Each side is 6 units long. There's 5 of them. That's why it's 6 times 5. So 30. All right. My slant height is 10.8. Okay, and then this is different than what we did in the notes. So this was the area of our base. So this is like a little square. And so all we did was, you know, we did 11 times 11. We just did the 2 sides of the square. This is different. This is a regular polygon. So our capital B is going to be this formula because we have to find the area of the base. So 3 and 4 work like this 1/2 AP. Here's what's nice. No trig. You don't have to do any trig. You just need to figure out what you need to plug in. All right. My apothem is this 4.1 number. It's right there. Oh, that's ugly looking, isn't it? 4.1. This thing. My perimeter, we've already found the perimeter. It's right there. So you just have to plug the numbers in. So 0.5 times 4.1 times 30 is going to be 61.5. So now we have all the things we need. We have our P, we have our L, we have our capital B. We have one. Okay, we're struggling here. Why? Where's my formula? Oh, it's right here. So there's 5 sides, because it's a pentagon, and then that 6 comes right there. See that? Okay. Okay, I'm also going to show it to you like this. We did PL divided by 2. It's the same thing as 1/2 PL. So I'm going to show you one other way to type it into the calculator that's a little different than what we did the first time, but I just want to, give you options. So instead of using our fraction, you can just use 0.5 times that 30, which is our capital P, times our 10.8, and then plus 61.5. So you can just type this thing in, except remember our 1/2 needs to be 0.5. Well, it doesn't have to be, but I think it's easier to type that in. And then you're going to get that answer. Your 223.5, and it's meters squared is your answer. All right, and then that's how you solve this problem.